Alright, welcome in, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me just a minute. I gotta share some links here. I would turn on some music, but everything I want to listen to is copyright, so we don't want to get flagged for that. Alright, everybody, welcome in. So tonight we're doing something, I don't want to say special because I kind of want to make it a regular thing, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, we are going to do a little bit of a build night, and we're working on this dude right here. Give me just a second, let me get him all lit up and stuff. There you go, you can kind of see him there. So, as you can see, I kind of have most of just the base frame built. Tonight, I want to try to see if I can't get the thrusters done, but we'll see how that goes. Lots of bits and pieces going on here. So, give me just a second. We're going to change camera angles so you can see the build guide that I'm looking at, and you're going to watch my hands. So let me just kind of get set up and organized real fast. Hobby knife, sanders, couple of pads should we need them, liner, and maybe some tweezers. And we'll take the vise out as well, just in case. I've not had any issues so far with this model kit, design-wise. So, give me a minute and I'll share what we're working on. So, we are working on a third-party unit from Stardust Memory, which is UC83. From Gundam, of course. And this is the GP02 Solomon. They call it the Solomon Physalis. Here it is. This is the box art. So, gonna be pretty sweet once we get her there. My plan is to paint this box art and make it really cool and detailed to hang up on the wall. I've got some really nice paint markers that my wife got me, so we'll definitely be putting those to use as well. Which, let me grab this real fast. Just in case we need them. Got the whole slew of water-based acrylics, which is what most of this plastic should have on it. Color swatch that I took the time to fill out, and yeah, got a whole line. So we're set. We're gonna get into this and see how far we get. Gundam helmet, of course. Aha, lights up, makes sounds. The left or the right side LED is messed up, so I gotta figure what's up with it. But it's wearable. It's one of those things. This was a Christmas present for my wife and my son. changes modes and stuff, but I'm not going to do all that tonight because it makes noise and like it's loud. Oh, dang it. One of the dogs got left outside. That's my bad. All right. Give me 2 seconds, folks. Go get a refill. And we'll get started. Alright, folks, sorry about that. Had to get a refill. Apologize to the dog. I thought she came in when I let the other dog in. So we have a small pond in our front yard, and they get into the pond and they eat stuff. Well, they're eating frog poop. That's the problem, and it's making them sick. So, yeah, anyway, kind of show off a little bit here. I got this for my birthday last year. Altogether, I think it probably took me, honestly, about 2 weeks. So, it just depends on what level mechanical know-how you are when it comes to these kinds of things. Like this one is far more complicated than this one, and it's half the size. So it also kind of just depends on who's making the kit. So we'll get into talking about the different sizes real fast. I'll show you one that Kyle got me for my birthday. I haven't built it yet, but this is a high grade. But it's like an old school 80s, like chunky dude. And then this is also a high grade, but this is brand new 2025. So hopefully we can build those on camera at some point. That's the bad thing about this helmet. It's big. Alright. So give me 2 seconds. We're going to change camera angles, and then we're going to get going. Try and get the light out of the frame. That way it's a little bit more pleasant of a view for y'all. There you go. That's pretty good right there. So we'll start with that. So this is made by a Chinese company. I can't remember who the maker is. I'll eventually post links and stuff in the videos for you if you're interested in this kind of thing. So let's see, where did we leave off? So I believe we left off right here on the thruster skeleton, which is like the big center thing, and its back. And we've already done the legs and the chest and the head. As far as the inner skeleton goes. So we'll start armoring all that stuff up once we get this puppy figured out. So, as you can see, they lay it out pretty good. Like, every sprue has an alphabetical character assigned to it. So, we need B, E, H, M, N1, N2, and then N2, N2. N1, N1, N2, N2. And that's all the sprues we need to build this particular section. So they've put a lot of thought in how everything is built. And there is English translations underneath the Chinese, which is honestly nice. And it feels premium. Honestly, I feel like the value is better with third-party kits if you're an advanced builder, so to speak. Just because you get more for your money. Like, yeah, this is cool. My big huge guy, he's cool. Don't get me wrong, but not much of a challenge. I want something to challenge me. Okay, we don't need those yet. So, is this box backwards? It is. Okay. B. Gotta move some stuff around over here. So usually what I do is I kind of look at the first step to gauge what I need first. So I'll start with B. I'll cut everything out with B. I'll show you where I'm working. Right here in the corner. You can't really tell because of the light, but let's see if I can fix that. So we're working down here in this corner. And then this is just water slides, like water transfer decals. I don't ever use them. Yes, I know how to do them. They're a pain in the ass. Especially if you're trying to get them to lay smooth and you want them to be totally seamless like I do. Then it requires a lot more work than just put some water on it and then put it on your model. To truly get it seamless and lay flat, you need special chemicals that I just don't want to keep in the house because we have little hands. So water-based is fantastic. Okay, so let's start with B. B12, B25, and B8. Pull out my fancy snips here. It's been a minute since I've used them. Give them a quick wipe off. I actually haven't built anything since, I want to say, gosh, October, at least. We've been really focused on trying to get through some games and also normal life, because we are 9-to-5ers, of course. So B12. So with these, it's got like a really thick side and a really thin side. You can't really tell, but you put the really thick side down flat against your piece, and then you just snip through it with the thin side, and you get a really nice cut, really little cleanup. Boom. Like, these snips are game changers. So if you don't have any and you're wondering if you should invest, yes, 100%. because these are an investment. They are not just any old set of snips. This is a set of snips that's going to last you a really long time if you take care of them. Alright, so that's one side. I usually will do all of the first pieces for whatever it is I'm working on. Scoot them off to the side because I build in tandem. You save yourself so much time if you figure that out early. You can build the big stuff really fast if you build in pairs. Snip, snip, snip. Yeah, and we're doing this real time. You're watching me. There's no speed up on this video. I am just straight working. I want to get this thing done and be able to get rid of this box. That's really the motivation behind this. But also my son keeps bugging me about getting it finished because he wants to see it all done. So, because this one is his favorite. Alright, now we need H, right? H. So here's H. Just a nice, really, like, matte silver, high quality injection molded plastic. It's nothing like metal coated or anything like that, but it is premium, and you won't be disappointed, I promise. H20. Snip, snip, snip. So yeah, I'll try to get a good view of how I do this, but basically you just stick your snips where the sprue meets the part. It's really easy to see right here. You just literally you stick them there, flush against the piece, and you snip. Like, there's no hard way, or there's not any easier than that. So don't be intimidated by these kinds of snips either. And then usually, what did I do with my box? While I am building, since I leave them out, and we have so much animal hair flying around, because, you know, we run a zoo around this house. Not really. But we do have a lot of animals. I've got some nice hardcovers for these that it came with. So, alright. Now, I'm going to have to turn the brightness back up for this one. We'll take our hobby knife and we'll just clean up our snip marks real quick. It takes no time at all. One, two, three. and that's it. And then you move on to the next piece. So in case anybody was wondering how you do this, this is how you do it. Or this is how I do it, rather. Model kits have always been something I've found peace in ever since I was little. I've built and built and built and built Legos, model cars, Connects, like pretty much anything you could think of to build. In that regard, I've done it. Now, when it comes to like model cars and stuff, never the RC cars. Just as cool as that is, that's not something I ever wanted to get into too much. Just because I know that can go way crazy. And in case anybody wants to know, I am using the Disbay Band brand stuff. That's what these snips are as well. I really liked the hobby knife, so I decided to invest in the snips. The hobby knife is also one of those tools. If you spend a little bit of money on it, not that this was crazy expensive, you get a little bit better quality out of the gate instead of just buying the cheap stuff to get you by. And you have tools that'll last you forever. I'm a big believer in quality over quantity. Boom, boom, boom. Next piece. And pretty much all I'm doing is just taking off. There's a little tiny nub mark where you snip the piece of plastic from the sprue. I'm just smoothing that off with the part, and that's it. I'm not going any further than that. I'm not doing any crazy like part gouging or anything like that. I'm just trying to get it nice and smooth. Once I feel it smooth out, I move on. You can go crazy, and you can really ruin some pieces if you are not careful. I just give it a quick feel. If I can't feel it in any direction, you're good. You gotta really watch it, because you can gouge your parts and then you end up pitting them really bad, and you make them weak or you make them deform, and that's when a lot of structural integrity with your model kit starts to go wrong. I just realized I don't have my chat pulled up. Give me just a second, guys. There we go. Back to it. So now that everything's clean, what I'll do is I will put this section of what we're working on together. Turn Turn that brightness back down so you can see where I'm pointing right here. So now I'll just put that together, and it shows you how it's supposed to go in the little diagram right next to it. So you can't mess it up too bad. So okay, I got it now. Little pin piece goes in right here. Okay. And then your thrusters. So the really cool thing about this model kit is like every part moves, every part is designed to move and function within the model kit standards of function. Like its flaps are supposed to open and stuff like that. So and they make it really hard to get it wrong. But every once in a while you just gotta kind of pay attention. Double check yourself. Okay. Boom. That moves nicely. Alright. And there we are, folks. First part done. Little thruster piece that moves in and out. Like I said, everything on this kit is designed to do something of that nature. So now we'll just do the other one real quick and we'll keep going. So there you go, that's the trick. Slide your little connector arm on your other side first, and then trying not to get myself in trouble with my verbiage here. I guess it would be your connecting rod, but I digress. It can be kind of tricky sometimes. You just gotta balance the part just right, and then I like to try and make sure I'm lined up, and I just hold it. I squeeze the bottom first, and I make sure that thruster is pushed all the way up in there. That way it's seated against something solid before you cinch it down, and then you just give it a good squeeze. No, you don't have to put any glue on this stuff if you don't want to. This guy is not held together with any glue. My big huge guy, you can't see where I'm pointing, but the one I showed you in the beginning of the video, he's not held together with any glue or anything like that. He is just pressure fit together, just like that. So now we got that done. Now we need E. And as I go, I kind of just, the ones I've been using, as I pull them out, I just stack them in a nice neat order. So like B is on the bottom, H is next, and then E, because E and H are what I'm working with right now. And then N, it looks like. Yeah. So here's N. a very nice shade of red. It's not like super ostentatious or anything like that. It's actually a lot darker than the standard like Gundam red. So I'll set those kind of off to the side because I don't need those just yet. Those are like an end cap. So we need E38. And honestly, usually for the inner frame of everything, I don't normally clean up my edges. I just snip it and I move on because you're not going to see it anyway. So yeah, we'll just push those off to the side. E30 and E26. So yeah, you might as well just snip everything while you have it out. Boom. And a little trick with thruster cups. Just stick your finger up in there. You're not going to snip yourself, I promise. Just watch where your snips go and you'll be fine. So there's one. Now we'll do the other E real quick and then we'll move on to H. And we'll put the E back on the stack while we snip H out. Snip. That one. This one. And this one. Alright, now we'll take H, we'll knock it out real quick, and then we'll snip out the last one, which would be N. Give me just a second, make sure I shared this, because I can't remember. Pretty sure I did, but... Alright. Take a little sip of water. Now we need H14, which should be that one right there. Do the other one. All right. Well, how was everybody's evening? Talk to me, folks. I got my chat pulled up where I can see it. Let's have a discussion. Okay, now we'll cut out N real quick and we'll move on. N14. So on the end sprue, you'll see the pieces missing right here. So this, you only get one side of the end sprue because you don't need it twice, because it's for the shield. When we get there, let's see how fast we can do this. Definitely don't think we're going to get it all finished tonight. We might get the thruster unit built and get some pieces armored, but I don't think we're going to actually be able to finish it tonight because there is a ton of pieces in here. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It comes with LEDs. So we got to install LEDs as well. But of course. Okay. Let's make sure we're not missing any of these little marker light stickers. And we'll keep going. I usually don't do stickers, but these stickers are like really super reflective of the light. And they're like meant to look like they're shining, excuse me. So I've been trying to use them where they need to be used, but I'm not putting water decals on just because these are usually on the underside of the frame and like inside joints and stuff. You can kind of see them. There's little red and green dots all over the place. Okay, so E. Oh, that's nice. They pretty much make it to where you can't mess this up. That feels good. Okay. I say that. Gotta look for the little notch on the inside of the thruster cups, otherwise you won't get it. And they can be a tight fit, so usually what I'll do is try to wiggle it on a little bit, and then I'll just press it down on the desk. Or I'll just sandwich it. I think that's fully seated. Alright, there's that. And then this is pretty much the same way. Gotta line it up with the notch. Nice thing about these is you can just kind of squish them in with your fingertips. Or you can use something like your tweezers. Just take the back side so you're not hurting nothing, and just give it a gentle push. And that'll seat it nicely without ruining anything. Some 101s here. Alright. Now we'll just do the same thing on the other side real fast. And I would say press the thruster cup first, but you can't because it's designed to lock inside that hole. So the thruster cup is what holds this thruster up, essentially. Like, it is the structural integrity. Where is it? There we go. And like I said, this isn't always the easiest thing in the world to do. So if you get frustrated, just take a break. Don't slam your kid around just because it's not going together the way you want it to. Sometimes you just got to slow down a little bit. Remember, this is all about enjoyment. This is not about speed building. This is not about anything else other than finding your inner peace. And satisfying your need for giant robots. Okay. So boom, we got 2 thruster units done. Now, I think we move on. And we connect the 2 together. So we're going to go back to N. We need N21. Yeah, they are pretty good, aren't they? All right. Thanks for dropping in. A little ASMR going on in here. All right, here we go. So now it wants us to take this thruster, just like this, and give it one of these. And then it wants us to take this one and do this. How's that for a click? And there we go. It does the whole shebang. It moves, it grooves. It's ready to go. And you pretty much just duplicate it. Boom, left and right. Okay, moving on. Let's put that away. So now we're going back to B. We have moved on to this half of the page right here. So flying through these thruster units pretty quickly. B10. D10, so pretty much the biggest ones other than the 2 shoulder units. Thanks for dropping in, babe. I appreciate it. Enjoy the clicks and snips. I know that's the best part. Well, I hope everyone had a decent week. It's been an eventful one for us. That is for sure. I'm not going to go into detail, but we are okay. We are going to be fine. All right. There we go. Squish this side together real quick, and we'll squish the other side together real quick, and we'll keep moving. There we go. Be a little confusing sometimes. Go. It can be kind of difficult to line up sometimes. You'll get it. Oh ho ho, looky there, folks. That's kind of sick, actually. I'll do that again for the camera. You move one, they both move. And then this one pops out. How cool is that? That's pretty sweet. Alright, there you go. We got 2 of those done. Now we're going back to H. We're going to do like little skeletal pieces that it's got. I'll just set the H ones over here. Oh, and there's some of those stickers that'll get put on these pieces that we're about to snip out. H2, H9. That one's undergated, so we'll have to do that one a different way. So this one, the snip is like right on top. Usually what I'll do, I'll snip it a decent length away from the piece, and I'll just break it off. That way you're not ruining anything, and then you give yourself a nice flat surface that you can snip on. Just like that. One side. Undergated. Sometimes if you get it just right, you can clean your nubs up perfectly flush without having to even touch your hobby knife. Makes life easy. Alright, we'll leave those out for a second. Put these back on. Okay. So now we need our hobby knife anyway, because we're going to do these stickers. Sorry folks, need the light. Okay, so 27. And 26. They are green. Okay, I see now. Alright, so let's do these stickers real quick. These are honestly the hardest part of the whole thing. I hate stickers, and the fact that these are tiny makes it even worse. Okay, so 27. So you kind of saw how I did that. I take the sheet and I peel it up just enough to leave it there, and then I take the very tip of the hobby knife and I just peel it with the rest of the way. And these stickers are very forgiving. So, unless you do that. No. There we go. Dang it. Go the right way, sticker. Quit being difficult. Try not to scratch this thing here. Okay. We got that one set. Let's do this other one real quick. It is also in the number 27, so this is the same side of the piece. Have that back real quick. So yeah, I just take it, I peel it up just a smidge. Oh, unless it comes off on your finger. These stickers tend to enjoy the humidity, so if your house is humid in any way, shape, or form, or just warm in general, be prepared they are going to stick to everything you want to stick them to. So don't drop them. Try not to press them into your manual. That tends to happen. And I'll show you a little secret for stickers, so you don't scratch the crap out of your model kits. Let me find one with a decent tip on it. That'll do. I always keep some toothpicks in my little tool case that I have. That will save your life with these stickers and just with your model kits in general, especially if you're spending the kind of money that some of these kits cost. I would not be using anything to recess stickers that is metal in any way, shape, or form, because then you get a super nice result. You can't really tell. Kind of see the green line right there. Anyway, moving on. Let's recess that other one real quick, and then we'll snip out the other side and put the other stickers on. And I kind of just work one side to the other, and once I get both sides in where it needs to go, then I start putting pressure on the sticker to get it down into the recesses where it's supposed to be. Doesn't take much. And then you notice you can rub your finger on it all day long and it's not going to come off. Alright, snip out the other side real quick. A lot of people would tell you to have a separate pair of snips to do all this. I've got another pair. I just don't. It's not going to hurt your snips. Just cut the piece of plastic out. And usually with these bigger ones, I try not to let them fly off, because you step on that, you're going to notice it. It is not fun. This one I'm going to have to take the hobby knife too, though. Perfect. Alright. Next. Snip, snip. Alright. Now we're going here. So for anyone who's not built a model kit before, I definitely recommend it. It can bring a lot of peace when you feel like you need it. When a video game or scrolling on your phone just isn't cutting it, sometimes you just gotta put all that away and do something different. Alright, there we go. Now let's do this other side. Give me 2 seconds, folks. I'm gonna take my hoodie off. It's hot. Much better. All right, we're coming up on an hour. Very nice. Time kind of flies when you're doing this thing, or when you're doing any kind of hands-on activity. You tend to lose track of the time rather quickly. All right, so now we're doing 26. I'll do the same thing. You could try to use your fingernail. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I've found that the hobby knife is the best way. It truly is. Just gotta get it just right. Bloop. And then, what do I do with my toothpick? Now that I have my toothpick out, I can kind of set one side, hold it with the toothpick, and move it where I want it. Pretty easily, just like that. And then we'll press it in just a second. Now let's get this other side going. I've already got it kind of peeled up. Boom. And we'll do the same thing, kind of like precision surgery here. Try not to ruin the sticker or your part in the process. Boom. That's just fine too. You could still move it and put it where you want it. You just slide it down. There we go. Boom. That one's done. We'll do the same thing here. Slide it down. Press it in. And there you have it, folks. It's that easy. Stickers can be the bane of your existence if you let them. The trick is to not let them. And that's easier said than done. Okay, so now we'll separate everything. Thruster to thruster. Okay. So it goes. Wrong piece. Here we go. So they just kind of slide, snap. Don't press too hard. You don't want to break it. And it kind of shows you right here how it goes. So this goes on this side. Go ahead and just get those in place all the way. And you just kind of wiggle it. That works just fine. There you go. Boom. Just like that. Now we'll do this one. I mean, honestly though, this one has been much nicer than almost all of the name brand kits that I have built. It's not the hardest one I've done, but definitely probably going to be the nicest one. And they are designed to come apart, so just be wary. Sometimes they will. But once you get them down, you can kind of seat them together a little bit easier because you've got some back pressure from the actual piece itself. And you just give a good squeeze where those joints are. And you can really get them seated together nicely. Now we have a piece that not only opens, but the thrusters also move. So it's fully mechanical. And both sides do that. So it's kind of cool. Got it upside down, but it's fine. Okay. Now we need E29. And that locks everything together. That one right there. Okay. Boom. One. Two. There we go. Alright. And it just fits up on there. You'll know when you get it right because it'll snap together. Alright, there you go. They are fully encased. Now it's looking like we're going to start layering armor pieces on. Kind of. So now we need M12. Oh man, if I had more patience than what I'm working with right now, I would so totally paint the crap out of these. Every little heat pipe would get painted. I don't have that kind of patience in my life right now. So these pieces are undergated, so I'll have to snip those and clean those up here in just a second. That's kind of expected. On these higher quality Chinese kits, it's pretty standard because they would rather have the blemish on the back side of the piece, where if you go too far, you gouge it or whatever, you're not really going to see it, so it's not a big huge deal. And then E33. Snip. Snip. Alright, so now we'll just, I guess I could snip those. snip these real fast. Just set it flat. Even though they're super thin, it can be kind of hard for your razor knife to get through that. So just snip them. It's easier. Boom. Now we only have that one side to clean up with the razor knife when we get there. Let's do these. It was a little thin and stringy. Alright, where did it go? There we are. Boom. We'll just knock these out real quick. No rush. And if you wanted to be fancy, you could use sanding sticks and stuff like that, which I've got. But I tend to use those more on like that armor plates that go on the outside. Versus on pieces you're not really going to notice. Man, that one was barely holding on there. It's a little more difficult to clean than the other one was. That's alright. Make it work. I'll just knock those down real quick because those are probably going to be critical. Now, it tells you to lift the thing, stick it through, and then you line your piece up with the little slots. You smash it down. And then same thing with this. Yep. I want you to pop it into the little arm because it's a C-clip, and then it just slides down just like that. Boom. So I'll show you again. Up, over. Your piece slots in right here and right there. So you just line those holes up. Boom. There you go. And then this thing is like a C-cup. So you just slide your arm through. Make sure you got it facing the right direction. And you just... Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. You just seat that little piece in the C-cup. And there you go. And then once you get it seated down, you can put a little bit more pressure on it and get it squeezed in there nice and good. Boom. Alright, there we go. Now, everything opens and functions in a nice package. And it all only opens so far before it starts flexing wrong or whatever. So keep that in mind. I have a feeling these pieces are going to be a pain in the butt until we get their armor plates on them. But let's go ahead and open this one. Yeah, open them slow. Try not to pull them too super hard. There you go. What just happened? Something just came apart. Okay, we're good. Just don't go too far. There you go. May have to kind of help it reseat if you go too far. There you go. Now we're gonna put oh, okay, I see. We're going down, we're not going over. So we're gonna put these two together and then we're gonna shove them inside of a big ring. So E. $32. And what was it, 16? Yep. What the heck? Snipped the wrong one. Dang it. That's on me. It'll be alright. We're gonna have to snip it anyway, so extra head start never hurts nobody. Alright. I don't even know what time it is, but probably not going to be going too much longer. We're going to turn the page here in just a second and see where we're at. Yep, we're coming up on 1 a.m. my time. Not that that's anything unusual for me, but alright. There we go. Now we'll snip out the ring that seals everything together. It's got some pieces on it that need to be cut off. But yeah, normally I would just have some music going in the background. Or I'd be talking to Kyle, just chilling. He'd probably be streaming whatever he's playing for me while I build. We just hang out. Clean enough for me. Not like I'm trying to win any contests here. Alright. Now, I think the ring goes on first. And it does have slots. And you just technically slide it on, but it's not always that easy. There we go. A bit of a harder snap than I was expecting. That one went on real easy. Okay, and then you just look for the mark. And that's where you stick it on, just like that. There we go. Boom. Just like that. There you go. Couple of thruster units knocked out. Just about. B13 and B17. I'm going to build their hangers real quick, it looks like. I always try to make sure I snip over the top of my desk, because I am the world's worst about losing little tiny pieces. So I try to make sure that when my part falls or jumps out of my fingers, because it does happen, that it falls straight onto the desk and not onto the floor. Now, this is where any model kit gets tricky. Make sure you're paying attention to this position. I may have to turn the brightness down right here. Make sure you're paying attention to any kind of position that's telling you the orientation of a part, because it always translates to the next part of the step that you're working on. And it's going to be very important that you put those pieces together correctly, as those are mission critical. Alright, there we go. Turn the brightness back up now. Back to E. 20. Yeah, we'll try and knock these out to the point of ready for armor plating, and then we'll probably be done for this stream. It's already been a longer one than normal, which is fine. I'm here for it. I know you guys are hopefully in for the ride too. I want to try to make this a more regular thing, but we'll just kind of have to see how that plays out. The prices of model kits just keep going up and up and up and up. I've got a few I've got my eyes on, but I'm not pulling the trigger yet because the first runs of them in the US always have issues, and I'm not doing all that. If I'm spending a decent amount of money on something, $50 plus roughly for a model kit of similar quality to what we're building, then I need to make sure that it can be perfect when it gets to me. So that's why it took me so long to buy this one. This will give you some finger strength. That's for show. You need some hand strength? Put a model kit together. Your hands will get stronger. Let's just move that up and down a couple times and loosen it up. Because dadgum, that is a tight fit. Sometimes you gotta use your disc. Get some pressure on it, more pressure than what you could put on it with your hand. But also, the edge of the disc allows you to get every direction. There we go. Okay. Those are done. Turning the page. Okay. So now, I think we're nope, not yet. Okay, I see now. So let's move these over here. So we're going to finish this page right here and then we'll be done. B. Not sure how many people we got watching, but thanks for coming out, everyone. It's not always easy cutting this stuff out sometimes. There we go. Just like that. See? You get focused on trying to go fast and you drop stuff. This is definitely one of those hobbies where slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Alright, M20. And there's little stickers that go on this piece, so we'll do that. Snip, 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 snip. All the snips. There we go. Right. Looks like it's 35. These little dudes right there. Can't really tell, but they're just little green, almost squares. And if you're using your hobby knife to set your stickers like that, just be careful. Make sure you're not slicing your thumb along the blade when you go down. That can be very painful if you're not careful. You kind of notice how I do it. I use the sharp edge of the knife to pick the sticker up, and then as I put it down and I use my thumb to kind of hold it in place, I roll the sharp edge away from my thumb, and then there's no risk of cutting myself. Little master technique there for you. And then back to the toothpick. Set those stickers real quick. It doesn't take much, just give them a quick once over, Run your fingers over them, make sure they're not sliding on you. Good to go. Alright, let's put this thing together. So this is the top. There we go. There you go, you just slot one side on. The other one just kind of follows suit. Really, the only spot you really kind of need to pay attention is up here, where these pieces are trying to meet. And make sure you're lined up there. And then down here, where this little plate is covering the thruster, you got to be careful. Make sure you see I missed it. There we go. It didn't pop in place like it was supposed to. Boom. There we go. That one snapped in nicely. Same thing, we'll just set that one real quick. Boom. There you have it. Oh, and I missed the mark on this one. These were supposed to sit up in there, it looks like. Yep, that's alright. We'll just pop one side out, ain't no big deal. You just loosen it up a little bit. You slide it right in. usually, if I can't get something apart, even if you don't play guitar, having like something like a guitar pick laying around can be a lifesaver. Because you can get up into areas that you can't get your fingers into without breaking anything. And that's the hard part. And sometimes you can get away with what I'm going to try to do, which is not take the piece all the way apart and just wiggle them apart just enough to slot what you're trying to get in and then squish it all back down, which I think it's going to work. Nope. I'm going to have to take it all the way off. That's okay though. Usually you use something to help you pry it apart, it'll come apart without you breaking it. There we go. Squeeze it all together. Now it looks proper. Alright, let's get this one pried apart real quick. You just find you a corner that you can pinch that makes it spread just enough to get whatever it is you're using to pry in there, and then just pop it open. And just move up and down the piece and take it apart gently. Try not to break anything. Not always easy. Sometimes you break stuff. But that's when you get to get creative. Boom. Correctamundo. There we go. Spick and span like nothing ever happened. Okay, next. BH and the gold one. I'll have to find that one, but we may, honestly, folks, we may end it right there. I don't know. Here's the gold one. Now we're gonna keep going. It's literally the last two pieces on the gold sprue. Can't give up now. Like I said, we'll finish this page out and then we'll call it. That way at least we're stopping in a good place and we've got a whole section done. I have nights where I'll stay up till 2, 3, 4, sometimes even earlier or later, depending on how you want to look at it. Just building, because the ADHD insomnia is real. And it sucks. And doing this really helps ease some of that. And then we need H and B. It always has. And it probably always will. Is that all of the H sprue as well? That is the last and final piece on the H sprue as well, folks. Looky there. Just knocking them out. Maybe we'll do some other builds as well. I've got several things that I need to work on. I've got a Lego Lamborghini down here. I've got a 55 Chevy Hot Rod. I've got 3 other Gundam kits to get built. Several things. What do I do with that gold one? Let's get it thrown away. I tend not to hold on to the empty ones just because you don't need them. All they do is take up space. So I try to throw them away as quickly as I can now. Now we need B, right? 22. And yes, I have hit myself in the face spinning the sprues like that, for anyone who was wondering. Boom. Alright. Let's put this together real quick. Okay. That's one way to do it. I don't think it goes much further than that. And this one's not fully seated. There we go. Okay. Now we need B24, B18, and B14. Come apart. That is the bad thing. Once you start running low on parts in your sprue, they start sticking together. It can be a bit of a pain. Few more pieces. It looks like one one more piece left on the bee sprue, folks. And it's a little tiny one. Always fun. So for anyone curious about the scale size that we're building, we're building 1/100th scale. So 1/100th scale of real life. And the big guy I showed you at the beginning of the stream is 1/60th scale. You'll find a lot of these third-party companies don't really do 1/60th scale stuff. Some of them do, but most of them do like 1/72nd. Because then they can get away with putting their own designs on stuff. And it keeps them out of the copyright lanes. Kind of a crummy way to go about it, but it is what it is. But also, not all of the third-party stuff looks like a Gundam, so keep that in mind. Some of them are much different. Just leave it at that. All of the ones that I am into look like Gundams. I think eventually I'm wanting to get, which one is it? The Penelope, the high-grade Penelope Gundam, the Space Chicken from Hathaway's Flash on Netflix, and put it together for y'all in a build video. That might be kind of fun. Okay, so it's telling us to do what now? Okay, I see. I got it now. Oops. They can be kind of finicky. You just got to work with them a little bit, figure out how to get them to squeeze together properly. I don't think that moves. But it's also not lined up. It's forcing the pieces apart. So what's going on? Ooh, shoot. That's one of those times you gotta watch what you're doing and be careful. Okay, I see what's going on here. There we go. There you go, folks. Check it out. And then the ring. And it just is pressure fit, so that's nice. direction. Dang it. It's not very clear on how that needs to go in. There we go. So it needs to go in like that. I had it where it was oblong. It's alright. So now that I know better, I'm going to put one side of this on first. Slot my piece in to the difficult side and then put the easy side on. Boom. Make sure we function. Feels good. Dang it, I did it again, but it's okay. There we go. There, that's done. Now we take the little last piece of B and get it gone. We'll probably be running another poll maybe Sunday. I'll talk with Kyle about it before we stream tomorrow and we'll figure it out. But what are y'all wanting to see? You want to see some Crimson Desert? You want to see some Sinking City? Do you want another build video? What are y'all looking forward to? What's gonna strike the fancy? Let us know. Honestly, I'm fine either way y'all choose. If y'all want me to play a game, I'll play a game. You want me to build a model, I'll build a model. Whatever sounds like fun. Most definitely. Dadgum. Sometimes these little C-clips don't want to go on. There we go. That actually kind of hurt. $19. Alright. And then we'll do the thruster cups. You may have to try and seat your piece this way. That way you don't end up breaking nothing. There we have it. So just lift your little seat arm all the way up and it goes right there. And just use your thumb to brace it. Push it down. There you go. And that's it right there. Now these go, I guess, on either side. Now we'll cut out some thruster cups real quick and then we'll call it a night, folks. Looks like there's some stickers, but I can do those another time. One. Can't throw E away just yet. There's still a lot of little tiny pieces on here. In 15. And the one we accidentally cut one on already, save us a little bit of time. Snip it out real fast. Alright. Moving and grooving, folks. 2 hours. We're rolling. Okay. Find your alignment notch. Squish them together. You can always use the tip of a marker. That's always another trick. It's a good one. Especially on these bigger thrusters. Alright, there we go. Now we'll do the same thing. Find your notch. Slide it on. There we go. I mean, it's 4 stickers. Let's just do it. I'm not going to want to come back and try to redo stickers. Let's just do it now. It's 4 little dots. It's alright. $38 and 3. So 2 green ones and a red one and some red ones. So 3 goes on the side. You're going to put your little thruster units. The dots are always tricky. Those ones I tend to just shove them down right away so I don't lose them. flip it over to a green one. And if your sticker walks on you, it's okay. Just pick it up and put it in place. Okay, and then so your thruster goes on the side with the red one, because obviously it's hot. Don't touch. So this needs to be my red side. Because it's backwards. Boom. Toothpick it, turn it over. Honestly, if these stickers didn't add so much detail, I probably wouldn't use them. But they do add quite a bit of detail. It's very needed on a model like this. Alright. Even though it's super subtle, when the light catches it just right, it looks like it's actually lighting up, which is important. And there you have it. It just opens up like that, and then it shoves back down. Boom. There you go, folks. 2 thruster units built. Now all we got to do is put armor plates on them. I wonder if I can shove them anywhere in the backpack. Because it looks like I can. Maybe. Oh, I see. So they actually go on the shoulders. Move it a little further forward so y'all can see what I'm doing here. I always just kind of mock it up because I like to see what it's going to look like as a finished product. Kind of get an idea of how I want it to be posed and such. Probably do something like that. And there you have it, folks. He's gonna be a big chunky boy, and I am here for it. So this is my favorite villain suit, as this is the villain suit that is stolen in Stardust Memory and has a nuclear missile launcher as its weapon. So let your villain arc begin. Let me just get organized here. I'm gonna get all this put away real quick, folks, and then we're gonna close out. H. Oh, that's M. H is done. H I J K L M. I try to keep everything in alphabetical order. That's another thing this hobby will help you with if you struggle, is being organized. And being so ADD and ADHD is sometimes a blessing and sometimes it's a curse, because it means I am extremely unorganized in a lot of things. And so building models has always helped me stay organized. Anyway, when we finish getting cleaned up here, we're going to put the manual away. We'll save our spot. We'll come back and we'll start on armor plating the legs next time. Try and make it to where I can stand the manual up and not crease it too bad. There we go. This stuff just keeps falling. Put our snips away. I always just kind of clean them off. When you buy a nice set of snips, it comes with like a little cleaning towel. Put them back in their nice leather case. Boom, there you go. Shout out to the Gundam Place store. You guys are pretty awesome. That's where I buy most of my kits from nowadays, especially if I'm wanting something third party. They tend to have the best prices along with the best delivery times, so keep that in mind. Make sure you're watching the tariffs and stuff if you're buying third party kits, because most of the time they're not made in the US. A lot of people will tell you if you're going to be painting them, make sure you clean them with some Dawn and some water to get all the mold release and stuff off of them. But I don't typically paint my model kits, at least not my Gundams, just because they usually come the colors they're supposed to be. And I tend to like my models of that nature to be lore accurate. So, alright, now that we're cleaned up, let me change the camera angle where y'all can see me again. Hi, how you doing, folks? Alright, I'll show you kind of what we did here. There we go. So you can see the big huge guy. This guy. We put these two things on his shoulders. Yeah. So he's going to be a big dude for sure. He's going to take up some shelf space, but that's what I want. Got a little bit more I want to fill up top. And it needs some villains on it for sure. But yeah, so we've got 2 high grades and then a real grade to build. I'll show you the real grade real quick. I've already shown you the high grades, so you don't need to see those again. Here's the real grade that we're going to build at some point. The Justice Gundam. It's one of those holy hand grenade kits, but I'm always up for a challenge, number one. But number two, I just love the color of this thing. I haven't even taken it out of the plastic yet, so we'll get there. We will get there. Let me get all this cleaned back up. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. It's been fun. Thanks for joining me on a little build adventure. Hope you enjoyed it. You can kind of see the hair is flowing crazy today. But that is going to be all for this evening. Come and join us again tomorrow night. I think we're going to have a special guest. But we'll see how that goes. And like I said, we'll put a poll up on Sunday. Let us know what you want to see for the schedule this next week. And I think that is council adjourned, folks. Have a good evening. See ya.